Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to the channel IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension, guys. Come on into this energy update and deep dive, truly turning into an urgent transmission, in which I have a lot of psychic intel and information in which I've been getting coming in according to negative alien ET involvement and gray interference when it comes to this black grid activation, and which is rolling through Europe at this time, according to the recent blackouts across Spain and Portugal, southern France, and also Belgium. Also was happening in the United Kingdom as well prior to April 28th as well, as upper parts of the United Kingdom were actually like beta test zones for the blackouts. And so all of this is kind of laying itself out right now. A lot of this is unfolding. You may have caught my most recent update that I put out on Facebook and Instagram, where I was speaking on this information already, kind of laying out how we are definitely looking at cybernetic attacks and cyber attacks essentially that are propagating more investigation in terms of it being actually a coordinated attack or actually being an EMP of some sort or a technology in which could create something similar to an EMP. So we're going to get into all of this as I think it's very significant, and there's a lot that's coming through that I want to essentially transmit to everyone. I do think a lot of this is activating and kind of ramping up at this time because as we come into May, we'll actually be coming into an annual electrical peak cycle that usually always runs through May. But every time that these activations, stir up, around this time of year, typically, we see a large window of intense energetic warfare, timeline scrambling, and aggressive positioning among the factions that are essentially vying for planetary control, right? And we've been seeing it all through 2024 and ramping up crazy in 2025. So we're watching the 2025 Ascension reality show. It is full in effect, you guys. Essentially, right now, spiritual warfare is at an all-time high. Multiple groups are pushing hard to control future timelines. I mean, this is really what we're seeing when you see a lot of this dominance, conquer, divide, and consume, and this diabolical reptilian draconian force vying for yeah, places where all of the Black Heart virus is essentially running, where all of the 5D reversal stargates are located, the Holy Trinity, Washington, D.C., Rome, um, France, basically Stargate 10, essentially, right? Like all coming back to Stargate 10. We see this push because it's to a lot of what's happening in these lower timelines is they're trying to cull the human population or enslave our genetic code to essentially redirect our ascension into their artificial timelines and into their hybridized realities. Okay, many of us that are conscious right now of our ascension capacities, right? Our star seed abilities, our empath, our indigo, all these things, right? We are transcending hybridization traumas, which means we live outside of that artificial matrix, and essentially we've removed a lot of the force breeder implants. So we've also timeline jumped all of their reincarnation harvesting and things like this. But it's not a brag. It's not like anything to be like, oh, I'm outside of this or existing. It's just that we're able to see it so we can better direct our genetic encoding to be able to basically Frogger that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of really exist in between and through it all. Without feeling an impact, we're somewhat removed from the degradational timelines. None of these things, though, are new tactics. This is all ancient, but what we're seeing now is a resurgence of dark timelines. We're going to be seeing it through those May peak cycles, okay, where we'll see the peak of the Dominion agendas. We'll see the peak of the aggressive soul harvesting technologies, which an EMP or a blackout or activation of the black grid would definitely fall under the terms of soul harvesting technologies. And the negative grays and the Zeta Dracos, okay, I think that they're working together right now. I think that these factions have allied in this time. And I have never said that, like I've said these things before, but I've never said it and just really like felt that shit. Okay. It really to me seems like they've been able to kind of tap into the 5D timelines as a hijack zone, falsely promoting the ideas that humans and grays are destined to coexist on the earth. I've been seeing that being promoted somewhat in certain GF factions and things like this. But I want to tell you guys, make no mistakes. Um, we're not really supposed to be cohabitating with grays because they are synthetic, like they're technically like AI beings. They are synthetic. They don't even have reproductive organs, and they're often the ones at the head of things like Parenthood and um, like promoting like death culturalism and like they're like very heavily hijacked and implanted and have inserted abduction technology within the womb gates, within the womb worlds, because they've already mastered the art of like basically like womb hacking, fracking, hijacking, removal of the womb, hysterectomies, like everything that falls in terms of a science when it comes to forced breeder programs working within Draco Dominion to do that. They yeah, they're they're the ones that are pushing for all these like AI um robots to actually have babies. Like they're building the robots that can like give birth to human children and things like this. Like they're really it's really out of control. Like so we're not really supposed to be like in cahoots with the Greys. Okay, they're like lines and factions and leagues that are sent down in the UAPs to expose and kind of give human beings a glimpse of what's being done behind closed doors. But they come in to, implement the agendas and the control, the genetic manipulation, and also soul interference as well. I've been seeing a lot of soul interference coming through people as of recently, and so I want to talk about that. But let's talk about this black grid first. Okay, so this is an artificial energy network that is connected to the Black Sun Stargate technologies that's operating out of Stargate 10, Iraq, Iran region, Giza, Egypt Gate System area, all within the Syrian Stargate pentagram, connecting all the way up to Göbekli Tepe, connecting all the way over to Mecca, connecting all the way over to the Kaaba. It's completely, the black grid is functioning from the black cube. The black grid is functioning from the black heart virus regimes and all of the, Stargate 10 types, but also the Saturn lunar matrix, right? And the spike matrix inside of the planet as well. So everything that's basically harvesting the Archangel Michael ley line, everything that's harvesting all of the reversal Stargate technology on the planet, it's tapped right into that system. The black grid is associated with the blackouts. Now, the black suns are fallen seraphim and Elohai angelic lineages. They came in with the Nephilim. Essentially, this was like the fall, the descent. They engineered a reverse grid designed to block organic DNA evolution and implant that into the light body and disconnect humans from source. Now, if it really seems to me as if this blackout, like this is one of the things that they would have been doing, because one of the things I kept seeing psychically was how operative things were up under the black hole tunnel systems as the blackouts were occurring. You'll notice that there was like a lot of video footage and a lot of pictures being taken, people who actually still had a ability to use their camera phone and things like this. Um, which again, there's some things in that wouldn't entirely allude to an EMP because, right, like no devices would essentially be functional. But I still think it's partial EMP tech. But essentially, there was a lot of things that were happening up underneath the ground, up underneath the subways, abnormally so. And so a lot of things were witnessed, I would say, and caught on recording, kind of exposing that that was occurring. Yeah, they're implementing all of this from up underneath the tunnels. Here is where they could do their dry runs. Like, remember how I told you they're like beta testing. Not only are they watching what people are doing, how they're reacting, and all of these things, but they're also, I think, practicing the EMP pulsing via dark military proxies of the negative ETs, Stargate 10 types, Draconian and Zeta Grays. Um, they're tampering with false healing tech, like certain things that they're implementing to kind of like run savior consciousness technology. They're practicing with the mind control implants and trauma loops to these things, and kind of again recording data, collecting, taking notes. And then I also think what they're doing, this is what I've been seeing with the Greys interference, is they're projecting mirages to essentially calm abductees while inserting AI or dark entities into their fields. And it's not just about dark entities, it's about culling the collective. It's about culling this and splicing the gene of those particular locations according to their locations on the grids, according to are they in black grid activation zones or not, which I do feel that Europe is, simply because Stargate 10 has been relocated over to London Stan. Okay, so if I'm going too fast for you right now, I'm so sorry. I know that I go really, really fast. You definitely need to go back and watch a lot of my most recent videos. Specifically the one I most recently did on the blackouts on my Facebook and my Instagram, so you can kind of catch up. Put a big like on this video if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, hit that notifications bell, share this video out, because I don't know if a lot of people are catching on to the Grey's involvement just yet when it comes to the blackouts. But this is something that it's been really coming in strongly. I've been seeing like indicators that, everything kind of leading to them being involved in the blackouts across Spain and Portugal. I don't think it was just a power outage, right? I keep reiterating that this was a test run. This was an activation attempt for something much more sinister, and also foreshadowing and foretelling of what's to come kind of in the future. So you guys know April 28th, just a couple days ago, there was a massive blackout that struck about, tens of millions of people that was lasting, I think it lasted up to 18 hours. Like 60% of the power grid dropped. All the communication lines failed. Public transportation was frozen. Also happened in Portugal, France, and Andorra, um, that these failures happened. And the UK also was noting, even prior to that happened, that they were getting unusual frequency fluctuations as well, like even hours before it happened in Spain. So a lot of the mainstream is saying that it's like fires and, oh, it's like weather and like all this stuff, but really we've kind of zeroed in, and we pretty much know that this was some form of a cyber attack, whether it's a full-blown EMP or whether it's like a partial blown EMP, because there's different levels and layers to this stuff. They want you to think that just for it to be an EMP, that, oh, like all the electrical devices, it's like the worst case scenario. No, they have like classifications of like detriment that they implement. So, you know, there is an oscillation, just like there is an oscillation within everything from moderate to extreme. Same thing with EMPs and technicalities of cyber attacks. So, I mean, they blame it on all these other things, but really, I do think that there is a full out investigation going on the DL. At least in Spain, I know for sure that they're investigating cyber attack for sure. Not only that, if you guys go and look at the grid, okay, the blackout grid, and where everything aligned, it essentially aligned with the third degree east longitude ley line, which intersects with Belgium, Spain, Portugal, Algeria, Nigeria, and Antarctica. And Algeria, Nigeria, and Antarctica have been coming up a lot lately. So there's something that they do work within certain sectors of what they consider territory of the black grid. Third degree east longitude ley line is running and activating that black heart virus grid, okay, like tapping into Stargate 10. But here, I think they're running higher holographic inserts, higher levels and layers of mind control implants, Tothian black magic, and Like a lot of the like it's like King of Solomon black magic type stuff where like they're working with like the lesser spirits, lesser keys, more archontic exposure, um more satanic and Luciferian forces basically, and just like another like sector or layer of the Black Sun agenda, if that kind of makes sense. So I don't think any of this was random. I think that there was some sort of ritual and technological strike that occurred, and I think what they're doing is they're attempting to switch on the black grid. Blackouts will accompany the black grid because it's a harvest, right? It's a feed, it's kind of like a feeding. And this is where they can actually perform abduction. Like that's probably what the basis of that, not only the technicalities, but the human harvesting element of it is what's going on down in those tunnel systems, especially when people get when the grid locks down and people get entrapped in like subway systems and things like that. For sure, that's a reaping. That's a harvest coming in because you're not locked in a safe space, and that makes the prey predator code start to run, and like things start switching on. Okay, especially in the ones that aren't actually humans, like they're negative hybrids, they're negative ETs, which is deeply infused into the genetics of humanity, right? Not only the genetics of humanity, but within a ethereal temporal realm of a collective mind as well, like a hive mind that gets switched on. And it controls consciousness, it controls living beings, and it can polarize human beings, star seeds and angelics. And, there's like forces for these things. This is all AI encoded into the EMP structural formatting itself, which is crazy, right? So, yeah, been seeing a lot of gray interference with this. If you don't know who or what the grays are, because some of you don't actually know, and I didn't realize that. Sometimes I'm just speaking about things like everybody knows, but they are engineered hominids. So they were created without reproductive organs. They are biotech clones. They are working on the side of negative AI. Okay, they serve specific tasks, especially in AI interfacing, negative AI interfacing. Okay, for sure this is getting tapped on with the black grid. For sure this is getting tapped on with the blackouts because they specialize in abduction. They specialize in soul tracking, insertion of implants, and also, yeah, uh, they use these entities as a distraction to mask a deeper thing that's going on. So there's something much deeper going on within the dark military, going on within the Draco faction operations. And they're using, I think, the Greys because they make perfect vehicles for cyber warfare, EMP disruption, and energetic infiltration. And, the Greys, they're like a whole nother level that operates off of the Trojan horse codes that have been coming in since the Holy Wars began. And I think that they're the ones that are warping the time fields, they're tearing through the dimensions, and they're feeding all of the dark artificial intelligence that's working overtime to dominate the Earth's grid. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with all of this. We are going to be doing a Gridwork mission, um, essentially just to like continue to command our space, act in our roles as planetary guardians. I really hope that you will be attending the Qatar mission with me. It's going to be just on May 6th, so like in a few more days here, essentially. I want to invite you to this Gridwork mission because I think that this will be a big one for us to reset a lot of these global diabolical shenanigans, negative ET technology that's, you know, definitely necessary at this time. We need to do a clearing on Stargate 10 and all of the distortions and all of the negative ET holograms that are running there, overlays, correct the reversal stargates, heal the Archangel Michael ley line as much as we can, all the way down to the Persian Gulf, dissolve the Black Heart virus, the Black Heart grid activations, and the blackouts from being able to, continue to function anywhere else or anymore, right? Because again, if they're beta testing, they're preparing to implement this on a bigger scale and turn on higher hyperdimensional warfare weapons. And so to clear that, we actually have to reclaim sacred masculinity and clear the imbalances and the reversals in the masculine polarized frozen light templates. We have to restore planetary peace consciousness. We have to clear the Draco hives and the Draco control hubs and the obelisk sites that are uh, allowing the grays to come in for AI mind control and black magic. Um, so yeah, the links will be down in the description for that mission, and I look forward to you all coming and being there with me. If you haven't attended a mission with me recently, I want to say I think that they're just getting better and better, betterer and betterer. They, I just feel like a lot more is going into the work, the channelings, the messages, the prayers, and they're really revelational. They're very on point with what's happening in terms of the planetary ascension process globally. I also wanted to tell you guys about another spring sale that I have. Um, I'm putting all three of my Gridwork courses on sale for the price of one, just for the first week of May. So if you are someone that's been wanting to get in and train on the deepest level to become a grid worker or a grid work facilitator or do any sort of planetary shamanistic work, I'm including in the bundle all three courses. And that is a huge deal because there's so many classes and lessons within this. Um, and so, yeah, I'll put the links down in the description for that if you've been wanting to take my Gridwork facilitator courses. This is a perfect time to do it because you'll get three courses for the price of one. And I'll leave all the details down in the description if you want to go and check that out. Um, Also, we're going to be switching gears up on my channel a little bit in May as well, especially the second half of May. I'm going to be bringing a lot of guests on the channel that are new to you guys, new to me. A lot will be new to me. Some will be guests. There will be a few that have come on before, but I'm going to have a handful of new, beautiful educated souls around health and healing that are going to be coming to speak on my channel. And I'm so excited because I'm going to be hosting a health and healing event for June 6th through the 8th, 2025. And I know that this is something that everyone really needs right now. Health has become such a center focus, I think, in so many of our lives, like really getting deeper and deeper and deeper into our ability to have self-control, um, navigate our lives in a holistic sense, all the time. Um, Getting rid of addictions, really getting to the core of healing the body. I think we've been focused for so long on like healing the spirit, healing the soul, healing our emotions, healing, you know, on a psychic and level of our ascension process. But recently there's been such a need for health healing, for healing the physical body. And, again, I think I said on the previous show, so many people like their health has become just such a priority. Like it's something switched on where it's like if we like really don't start taking things seriously in terms of health, like some of us are in an interesting place in space. Let's just put it this way. So I'm going to be hosting a health and healing event June 6th through the 8th, 2025. It's going to be a whole 3-day live webinar Zoom event with 12 teachers, 12 healers, talking about everything from women's health to men's health to how to protect yourself from EMF, how to detox, how to fast, Qigong, yoga, self-care. Like we are going to have so many beautiful presenters. It will be a full, beautiful weekend of just awesomeness. So I'll leave the links in the description. I hope you can attend this. If you're someone that's been working with me on session work, you know, this will complement greatly and significantly, I think, give everybody the encouragement and the support that we all need when it comes to getting like very serious about healing the body, because the body is calling right now. I think this is a call from Gaia. This is a call from Great Spirit. This is a call to honor, the physicality and the structure, this earth, this mother, like where we came from, the mother body, right? So Yeah, guys, I love you all so much. I hope this insight was helpful for the blackouts and the activation of the black grids. In terms of gray interference, I want to say that they're also not beings that like we should fear. I know a lot of people think like no, we're not supposed to be engaging and like interacting and like conscious. No, we're not supposed to be consciously like working with them and like it shouldn't be like that. Um we are to be aware of them, that they are interfacing and sharing space with us here on this planet, and that they are not in alignment with the highest soul groups on the planet. We do have to be aware of that because we have to be aware of the technologies that they have because they're the ones that are truly coming forward with this EMP technology. This came from them. I think if there's anything that you take from the message today, it is to recognize that this came from the Greys. And that's significant because that's how it can be stopped. There's something within that. There's something within us knowing where it came from us to be able to dismantle the tech and us to be able to also warn and trace and track and how it's following and how it's showing itself through the energy, through reality, through the planetary ascension cycles, so we can dissolve it. I know that has a lot to do with how we do that critically through clearing work during grid work and things like this, but also just within our conscious collective manifestation, like how we co-create through our thoughts. So if we dissolve gray tech just simply with our thoughts, we are doing that on a collective level. That sounds kind of vague in some ways, but I think that's the overall message is just to be aware right now because that's kind of all we can do. It's kind of like to be present, be aware of what's occurring, know that the technology is above and beyond, and we have to stabilize that through the mental spheres in which we hold within the constructs of our consciousness field, right? So, okay, guys, I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. All of the plugs and links that I mentioned for all of the things that are occurring right now, get involved in this community. We love you guys so much. So much to come for May. So stay tuned to the channel.